It's Sunday, the 28th of January 1996, bedtime story time. And I wonder what's going to be in the story tonight.
I want my time machine and run over with this ribbon on, and my motorbike and my flying carpet and secret door in this, and it led to the land of rockets and fairies and people, if you saw the picture, you could jump into it. And you see these are only stickers.
Oh yes. And what did Emerald want in the story?
And I choose my time machine, my flying carpet, and vitamin found in the village, the wizard, and the secret door in my hot water bottle, and led to the land of cold. And there was an ice dragon in it, and I was a slave, and I was a very good one. And he was a nice dragon, and he lived in an ice castle, and he was very, 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 very hungry still, and he liked to eat snow, and he said, "Be my servant."
Well, one night, when Robert was asleep, and Emerald was asleep on the couch, in the spare room,
on the couch.
Robert was in his bed, and round his room there were lots of posters of aeroplanes and helicopters and rockets. And on Robert's shelf there was a special silver aeroplane with an orange nose with stars on it, and a silver body with blue windows. It was a rocket, and Robert had specially made it, and he didn't know they were magic stars, which meant it would really work.
I knew they were magic stars. That's what my experiment was.
Well, Robert knew it really, but he hadn't told his daddy or Emerald or Mummy.
No.
So, when he was fast asleep, there was suddenly a light at the top of the shelf and a whooshing noise.
No, I just saw a little door in it.
Robert woke up and saw the rocket. Engines were lit, and he ran up and saw there was a little door in it. He took a big jump and went magically through the little door into the silver rocket that he'd made, and the rocket started to go up in the air.
Why?
It went straight through the ceiling and through the roof without breaking it, because it was magic, and soon it was out in the dark, cold sky with the stars shining. It went higher and higher.
Daddy,
Robert looked down.
So when I was flying it, all these stars would come off into the bright sky.
And the stars gradually came off and went into the sky, where they shone brighter than all the other stars. And the red nose of the rocket went further and further into space. Robert looked down. He could see the whole of Scotland lying in the ocean. It went higher and higher. He could see the whole of
Daddy,
Britain.
then I went across the river down to where other rockets were, and then I landed, and then there was rockets, pizzas, radios, runner bears, doggies.
And the rocket had landed at the secret cafe, which was where the Rocket Club met, and everyone who had their own magic rocket came out there at night and landed, parked their rockets in the car park, and went inside, had something to eat and drink, and talked to their friends. And Robert went
But I actually went when it was morning.
Robert had gone so far that it was morning at the secret cafe, even though it was night time in his room. He went in, and lots of people were sitting round. Some of them were boys, some of them were men, and some of them were space monsters who'd come from another planet. But they all had their own rockets, which were very shiny and smart, and they all were very keen on rockets and spent all their time building them. One of them, who was a purple snake monster, had built a very long golden rocket that was quite curly. And Robert said to him, "That's a nice rocket. I think I'll put a purple curly bit on my rocket to make it look smarter." And the snake monster said, "Yes, I like your rocket's orange top and its silver wings. I think I'll put a silver line on my purple snake rocket." And so they spent a lot of time talking about rockets, until Robert looked at his watch and found that it was nearly morning time back in his home, although it was afternoon in the cafe. So he said, "I'd better be going now." He went out to the car park.
I wanted to go to
And looked for his rocket, but it was nowhere to be found.
Why is it nowhere to be found?
He looked up in the sky, and there was a big shining thing going past away, and it was Robert's rocket. A baddie had stolen his rocket, and Robert was stuck there at the space cafe. He ran inside and said, "Someone's stolen my rocket."
But I remembered I was Superman and Spider-Man.
Ah, well, but they said, "We're your friends, we'll catch the baddie who's stolen your rocket."
Daddy,
So everyone came out of the cafe and jumped into their rockets.
They didn't even know.
Robert jumped into the purple snake rocket.
No, I
and they all
didn't.
started their engines.
I didn't even tell them, and they didn't even know.
They didn't
but
know.
I just turned into Spider-Man.
Robert, while no one was looking, Robert turned into Spider-Man while he was inside the purple snake rocket. And the rockets, some of the rockets were very fast, even faster than Robert's. And they all circled round and cornered Robert's rocket.
No, but I just quickly went.
And Robert shot out his spidery silk and wrapped it round and round the rocket in space and caught it and pulled it towards the snake rocket. Then all Robert's friends' rockets came round, and their special robot arms came out and clamped onto the rocket, and a special tube came out that Robert could walk down to the door. He walked down to the rocket door and opened it, and inside there was the baddie. Do you know what this baddie looked like?
No.
He looked like an onion. And Robert said, "It's the space onion. We've heard about you. You're the worst onion in the universe. Very, very naughty indeed. You make everybody cry." The onion said, "You've caught me this time, but I'll get you again." And with a great leap and cry, the onion jumped out of the rocket's window into outer space, turned on his onion boosters, and shot off and was never seen again in that part of space. Robert got back into his rocket, said thank you to his friends, and flew back towards Earth. Meanwhile, in the spare room, Emerald had woken up and thought, "I'll go and see what Robert's doing."
But
He wasn't there.
But I went to a different planet, not ours.
Yes, so everyone said, "I wonder where Robert is."
And she never ever found me. But I knew.
She thought, "I'd better go and look for him."
I went to my time machine to go to space.
Emerald went into her time machine. She turned the button to 100 years ago, which was before Robert got there. And when she went into space and looked down at Earth, she thought, "What's happened to Earth? It looks a bit different." Of course, there were more forests and less roads and less buildings.
Why?
Because it was 100 years ago. And she thought, "I'd just go back to my house and see what it looked like 100 years ago." She went back to her house and it was still there, but it didn't have the garage door, it didn't have the dog run, and the garden was different.
What did the garden look like?
Well, there wasn't, the main entrance wasn't there. The hedge went all the way across next to the road, and the entrance was by the gate by the church. And instead of a car in the garage, it was a stable with 2 ponies in it and a pony cart. Emerald looked in, saw the ponies and thought, "I wonder who lives here now." She knocked on the door, and the minister opened it, house he lived here, because in those days it belonged to the minister who lived in it and looked after the church. And Emerald said, "This is my house." And he said, "No, it's my house. Why are you wearing those funny clothes?" Emerald was still wearing her silky pyjamas, which didn't look like pyjamas in the olden days.
What sort of
Emerald.
pajamas did they have?
Just then, a little boy came along. He was only a toddler. And do you know who it was?
Robert.
No, it was Jimmy. Because it was so long ago.
Woo!
Jimmy was still a toddler.
No, it was Jim. No, it was Jim.
Yes.
No, they didn't have Jim in the wood.
Emerald said, "Hello." And he said, "Hello, little girl." Emerald said, "Do you like framing pictures?" And he said, "I'd never tried it, but it sounds like a good idea." And he went off and framed a picture he made, and that's how he started picture framing. Then Emerald went out into the road and thought, "Where's my daddy?" She looked around, then she realised her daddy wasn't born yet. So she got back in her time machine and went back to 40 years ago. And she didn't go to Scotland, she went to Birmingham.
No, it's China.
No, to Birmingham. And in a house in Birmingham there was a little boy who was nearly 2. And do you know who that was?
Who?
It was Daddy. It was 40 years ago.
And I said, "Hello, Daddy."
He said, "Hello." Who is this?
I'm Emerald.
Who's the mom? Said Daddy.
I'm your daughter, and you're my daddy.
And the little boy laughed so much he fell over and rolled under the chair. Then he gave Emerald a sweet.
What thought?
And a man came in who was quite young. Do you know who it was?
No.
Grandpa. He said, "Hello, little girl. What are you doing here?"
I went to my time machine.
"Who are you?"
Emerald.
"Who's that?" said Grandpa.
I'm your granddaughter.
"I've only just had a baby," he said.
Can I
And
see
then-
it?
Well, it was Daddy, and then Grandma came in. She was young. She had a big tummy because Auntie Hilary was still inside it. And Emerald said, "You're going to have a girl and you're going to call her Hilary." And Grandma said, "How do you know I was going to call her that?"
Can you my grandma?
And they said, "Incredible." But because they were both scientists, they believed Emerald and said, "Can we go in your time machine?"
What time do you want to go in?
Well, they said, "Can we go forward to when you're really 6 and see what little Paul is going to be like when he's grown up?"
Okay.
They all got in and came here and set it to Christmas 1995. And when they got there, they saw themselves still there. They come and they saw Emerald and Daddy and Mummy and Robert, and they said, "Gosh, that's what we're going to be like in 40 years' time." They said it looks quite nice. They went back in their time machine and went back again. But Robert was still nowhere to be found. He was going through space in his spaceship.
Then Grandma and Grandpa, who were looking at Emerald, they could hear a noise. They looked up, and there was a rocket.
Yes, they said, where's your brother Robert? And they looked up and saw a rocket coming.
And then it blasted down.
Blasted down, landed in the garden, and the boy jumped out, wearing a spacesuit. And who was it? It was Robert. He said, "Hello, Grandma and Grandpa. Who are these 2 young people here?" And it was Grandma and Grandpa when they were young. And the little boy who was even littler than Robert, who was Daddy.
Daddy.
And he said, "Have you come in a time machine?" And they said, "Yes, we have."
But Robert hadn't. He went in a rocket
He'd been in a rocket.
for space. And then I went to my time machine and I dialed. And I got Grandma. I had more space suits. And I put one on Grandma and Grandpa. And me.
Everyone put a spacesuit on. Then where did we go?
I only had 3 of them. And I put one on me, one on Grandma and Grandpa.
Never mind. Emerald had her own spacesuit. So
Yeah.
did Mummy.
Yeah.
And where did we all go?
And I went to Mars. And I went to the land of space. I'm back to where I met my friends.
And he said to his friends, look, I brought my family to come and see Space Cafe. And they said, what a lot of nice rockets there are here.
And I was so scared, so I accidentally hit the monster in the head.
And then
Couldn't you run away?
the space onion appeared again and tried to break into one of the rockets.
But he got me, and nobody could
And he
save me.
sneaked into Emerald's time machine while she wasn't looking and turned the dial. But he didn't know how to work the time machine properly, so he turned himself back into an onion seed. It was so little that he blew right through the ventilation of the spacecraft and out into space. And he floated in space for thousands of years until he landed on a planet in some soil. And after a while he started to grow to a big onion plant. And after 2 years he'd grown back to the same size he was before. He thought, I'll have to be careful not to do that again. I'll never try and steal a time machine, because I'd have to wait thousands of years to get back to myself again.
And he went to another planet. He goes to it, and accidentally went to another planet.
He went to another planet, and do you know what planet it was? Earth. He was a bit out of control, so he fell through the sky very, very hard, till he crashed into Emerald's garden so hard that he buried himself in the soil. And it was winter time, so it froze over him. During the winter he made roots and started to grow, and in summer a big shoot came out and a purple flower on top. And Emerald thought, that onion looks a bit funny. She said to her daddy, there's an onion growing in our garden. Daddy said, I didn't plant any onions. Emerald said, it looks a bit funny to me. I think it's a space onion. Daddy said, aren't they rather dangerous? I wish we knew some way of dealing with space onions. Can you eat them?
I said, no.
What do you have to do, said Daddy.
You have to go to the police.
Well, Daddy phoned up the police and said, there's an onion in my garden, and I think it's a space onion. And the police said, stop wasting our time or we'll put you in prison.
And then I said, it's true!
There's no such thing as a space onion, said the police.
But then the space is too late. Space onion went to the police.
The police said, well, come along and have a look. They came in their car, looked at it, and they said, it's just an ordinary onion.
No, it didn't.
But then they looked round and saw their police car being driven away. And Daddy said, there you see, the space onion stolen your police car. And the police said, police were so cross they jumped up and down and said, we'll have to phone the station to get someone to pick us up. They called out the police helicopter to go up and follow the police car. And the police helicopter went up in the air and chased the police car all the way across Scotland, down across the border through England, all the way to Wales. And then it got on the ferry in the Irish Sea.
How to drive
They had to chase it for days and days.
He didn't know
They
how
couldn't
to
quite-
drive it.
But eventually they caught it, and they surrounded the police car with their guns and said, come on out. And a policeman got out and they said, oh no, we've been following the wrong police car.
And then
the
what?
space onion had got away completely.